Yes, because very many people, actually we have friends, we have family friends. The kids have gone wrong just because they lack handlers. But we are blessed and lucky that we have our parents as they guide us on our do's and don'ts, which we appreciate.
And good evening. A very warm welcome to the best of the good life. I'm Drago. Today's episode is coming to you from BMK Cafe. As usual, a fantastic location. They have everything. And I'm glad to say that I'm sipping on a cocktail. These are some of the benefits I get from working with this place. It's quite a good place to work from. Now, on today's episode, we are going to discuss something that is going to interest you, because I have a very special gentleman. And to most of you would love to hear a conversation from this gentleman. He is the manager of this very own place. But before that, I'd love to remind you about something. In today's world, rich people fear one thing: entitlement, and their kids growing up without purpose. Because these kids have a tendency, evoking a stereotype of what we call a trust fund, having something to do with a social capital. A kid growing up knowing that my dad is rich, so I don't have to work hard. But, he cautioned me before we did this interview that I don't want to impose anything, involving his dad and blah, blah of that. But with no further ado, please allow me to introduce to you Mr. Ali Kibirige. How are you, sir?
Good.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
I'm glad to be here.
Great.
And for the first time, I was lucky that you gave me some time to sit with you. I've always wanted to do this for a very long time.
Excellent.
I talked about social capital. You are a son of a very wealthy man in this country. How does that, do you wake up sometime and pinch yourself? Or you also sleep on one bed at a time like any other person?
As I told you, it's a very, very, very sensitive question about family or what. But it's something normal. I take it as normal. It's very, 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 very normal, like any other person.
Are you sure? Did you go to the same schools, these normal schools like any other person?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like which kind of schools did you go to?
Actually, I went to City High.
Really?
Just here in Kololo, yes. Because I wanted to be schooling like near home.
Yeah.
So I chose a school that is near home.
Okay.
Then it's Thai in Tindi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also graduated
Then
from where?
I graduated from MOBS. It was my dream. It was always my dream to graduate from MOBS, to study from MOBS at least. So I was blessed as well to graduate from MOBS.
Okay.
My dream university, actually. Yes.
Let's talk about the time you were a child. Which kind of family do you come from? Of course, we know the most obvious part of it, that people know that you're rich. But which kind of childhood did you grow up from? Speaking about you.
Still about my childhood, I'll give the same answer. It was normal life like any other person. Like, though the environment differs from a village kid to a town kid.
Did you ever live in a village before? Because me personally saying I've never lived in a village before.
Actually, we used to go there just to visit the grands and then come back to the town. Yeah, but I didn't grow up from the village. I grew up from the city. Yes.
And were you a stubborn child? Because now you're a very humble person. I even wonder how you've kept up with that. But as a child, were you different? Were you stubborn?
Not really, because our parents were very, very, very tough and strict on us. So there is no way you can You know, you carrying, actually we carried our family name from childhood, from the grassroots. Not like these days. We used to carry the family name. Our parents emphasized on. I can say briefly. Since our childhood, we had handlers. You know, in life, you need a handler.
Who is that?
No, our parents, at childhood level, it used to be our parents.
Yes.
Who were our handlers. You get to school, then they have to know every teacher around school. They have to give them instruction on how to handle us.
Were they always there? I mean,
Yes,
when it gets
yes.
to school.
Yes,
Are you sure?
yes.
Because your dad is
That's,
quite a busy man.
That's how strict they were. And up to now, up to today, they are still very, very, very strict. So anything you do, it has to be controlled. It has to be handled by someone. You have to behave in a certain manner.
Do you feel like it's a sort of giving you a guideline to how you're supposed to live life? Do you think they are setting a precedent for you guys?
Yes. Yes, because very many people, actually we have friends, we have family friends. The kids have gone wrong just because they lack handlers. But we are blessed and lucky that we have our parents as they guide us on our do's and don'ts, which we appreciate. Exactly.
Okay, now, which kind of position do you take in your family? Are you like the last born, second last born, or first born? Or how many siblings?
Second last born.
Ah,
Yes.
and being born from a Muslim family, besides the other element,
Yeah.
has it shaped your life differently? Do you think so? Having Islam as a moral compass, has it shaped your life differently?
Exactly.
Do you feel like if you ever were raised in a different family with a different background of a religion, you would turn out differently?
Exactly. One thing I like about our religion, which is Islam, it guides. It guides, and when you happen to follow what the Quran says, you can't go wrong. Never. Actually, we see very many discoveries made by scientists, by whichever sort of people, the discoveries they make. The Quran guided us already. These things are not new to us. Actually, we read papers, we see them on TVs, that the new things have been found out. But when Islam had already, take for example, you get to be in a position of going to a club, and you're in position of buying beers, buying whichever kind of drinks. But because of the religion, it guides you that my religion doesn't allow me to drink. So when I go to a bar or club, I'll order for a juice or for a cup of coffee. I don't have to go for alcohol. And from this angle, I'm able to even save and invest. Because like if I'm to buy a Bel Air in a club, it buys at
That's like
$200.
$200. That's almost 500 and something.
500 something. So this money is enough
Blowing
for me to,
all that in one.
Yes, I can invest. I buy a cup of coffee at 15,000 or 10,000.
Ali, katwogerenga abantu abakulu.
Yes.
A man-to-man conversation, because this is becoming interesting. This is how I get excited when I get into it. Ali, okulidde mu mbeera erimu ssente.
Yes.
Yeah? Ekyo tetukigaana.
Yes.
And I don't want you, because this is more of your reputation. This is more
Exactly.
that name you hold enough is just enough to entitle you that. But how comes in Tigwe you handle your finances differently? Like a person alabye naku, I would say perhaps. Because ochimanyi we are living in a world where young men of your age, of our age, are really doing that, going to a bar or a club and they buy a ballet, which is almost 500, 1 million, and they blow it just in one night. But why are you different? What makes you tick?
you know, when you grow up in such a family, so take for example, we've grown up in a hotel Africana, seeing our parents struggling. You know, Muslim families, you find your dad has 2 wives, 3 or something, or even more. So you get to see how your father, how your mother, how they treat money. They treat money with a lot of respect. They respect money. That's one reason you can't find let me give 2 examples. You can't find BMK or Wavamuno splashing cash in bars like how these people do these days.
Is it because they know the value of money?
They know the value of money. So I don't have to get a lesson from my father on how to handle money. I just have to sit back and watch him and watch every move of his, how he does his things. You know, you come to him and ask him, like, I need money, I need 500,000. He asks you for what? Then you give a budget. Before you present it to him, you have to note it down on a piece of paper.
And you have to defend it.
And you have to defend it. Then, if you ask for 500,000, he won't give you the 500,000. He will say, I'm giving you 200,000.
Wow.
Then you have to find a way of, your budget was initially 500,000. So this guy has given you 200,000. So you have to find a way, you have to adjust and meet the requirements of 500,000 with 200,000.
This whole
from that, you get to appreciate and respect money.
When you're a child,
yes,
were you so involved with your dad? Yakutwalanga in all these involvements?
Yes, I can say we used to. We used to. Like you come, like
here at Africana. How many times did you come?
Let me give you a live example of. I think our parents copied the Indian style of how they bring up their kids,
which is a perfect style.
Exactly. You find a kid of like 3 to 4 years of an Indian guy
being taken to a business just to sit there and see how to observe how things run. So by the time this kid almost finishes primary, they've gotten their own small business, and by the time they finish senior 4, they're running a full entire.
Actually, what I can tell you from I started doing business, my personal business, when I was in my P7.
Wow.
I started doing my
Which
business.
kind of business was it?
I used to buy half cakes, then go sell them to kids at school.
Make profit.
And make profits.
How did your dad react to that?
My parents didn't know about my small businesses.
Very wise.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I knew when they get to know about my dealings, you know, my small business might be affected.
Yeah.
So I used to get my pocket money. I do what? I invest it. I buy half cakes. Then these half cakes I have to take them to school. Had 2 different schools. I even had branches. I had a Kampala branch and a Masaka branch.
What?
Yes. So I used to send. Actually, the Masaka branch was more of a boarding section. So I used to. These guys are the boarding. You study the market.
Yeah.
But I'm going. These people are tired of having posho every other night, every other day.
Yeah.
So most people preferred not to take posho in the evening. So they preferred my half cakes.
I know how edible business can
exactly.
be. So is that business still alive? Or
no,
you gave up on
of course, that was high school.
Yeah.
Then I've gone up and I'm embarking on different projects, different big projects. Yes.
Okay, you know, one thing I'm surprised, guys, is that I'm surprised that Ali is grown into a normal system, you know, a normal aspect that whereby you have to earn everything by sweat. I thought it was different totally. I'm surprised as you are. So what you're going to do, you're going to stick around with us as we enjoy our conversation with Kibirige Ali, who is still here, who is also the manager of BMK Cafe. Please don't go anywhere. Stick around. Good evening once again, and you remember you're watching Chilling on UBC TV, and we're still at BMK Cafe. Now today I had the pleasure of meeting with a young man who is an entrepreneur and a son of a common businessman known as BMK. Now I'm getting to learn some of his challenges, the triumph that his face is, you know, being him, and most definitely running this entire enterprise like the BMK Cafe. So, Ali, tell me, when did you actually adopt the interest of wanting to learn to run a business like this, maybe a restaurant or something like that? That hospitality business, how did you come to fall in love with that?
You know, always learning into something like this is always not by coincidence. You have to earn it. People don't just wake up and tell you, Ali, you're the cafe manager. You know, no. Whereby on getting this passion of food, as I told you, from my P7, I was vending half cakes in high school. So already that led to food. So from that, I started doing shows. They call them bivulu. I used to vend food. There is what you call buying food rights. So I used to buy food rights from Balam, and I used
you can't make this up, can you? I mean, this is real, right?
Yes. What? And I used to we go into contract with Balam, then I take the whole show to be the sole vendor of food.
Yeah.
So it's from that background that my mentor, who I take to be my mentor and my brother, based on that background, and said, then you can. You already have the passion for food. My mentor is Haruna Mwanga, my older brother, my big brother.
Yeah.
So he's my mentor. So he based on that background to tell me that from that, because I used to disturb him.
Yeah.
Actually, I used to disturb three people. I used to disturb my mother, my father, and my brother. I used to go to my brother for funds, to get funds, to facilitate, to buy the rights, to buy food to be used for a show. Then I used to disturb my dad and my mother for signing for tables and chairs and from Hotel Africana to take to the shows.
Wow.
So it's from that background. My father saw that this guy has passion for food, and my brother based on that. So what I want to tell everyone, that it's not by coincidence that you learned such a big deal, that you're a cafe manager, you're something.
Some young ladies that have tuned into this show, they're probably wondering out, is Ali single or married? Because they're seeing this gorgeous young man and they're wondering, are you single or you're married, or it's in the process? It could be a situation.
Single and contented.
What? Oh my God! What does that even mean, Ali?
Single and contented.
You know they're not going to take that as an answer.
Single and contented.
Wow, this has been amazing. So what you can do is to follow our social media outlets. Go on Chilling UBC TV. Follow our show. You can contribute to our conversation, because I've seen a lot of feedback that has come through our Facebook, and thank you guys for watching, and I love all your suggestions, and I'm trying to implement in some of the suggestions. So Ali, as you're winding up, what does the future hold for you? Is genuinely, you're single, you've settled in business, you've discovered yourself, I can say.
Exactly.
But what does the future hold for you? Because now you're dubbed, or you're being, you're part of Mr. Mwanga's family, right?
Yes.
I mean, have they ever dictated what you do in life when you choose to marry? Which kind of path in terms of business you take, all that? I mean, I'm trying to discover what is like 5 years from now for you. What does it look like?
First of all, our family, you know, we believe in what we call a free world. Our family, they respect, they respect what you want. If I say I want to be single, they won't force you to marry. Of course, the parents, you know how they be. They keep on asking, when are you getting married? Or who are you seeing? Are you seeing someone?
I'm tired of that question. You ask me, I've been a casualty of that question. And very soon I won't disappoint them.
So, they ask, and but they won't force. So, and even when it comes to business, you just have to, they leave you to discover yourself. Like when they see you settled and then they say, oh, he's now settled, then this is Kawa. So you're good to go. But now, by 5 years from now, I see myself in a very, 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 very good position.
A what?
A very, very good position, because
In terms of what?
in terms of business. In terms of business,
Like father, like son. After
Yes.
all, the apple doesn't fall far away from the tree. You
Exactly.
see, it's so business oriented. Yeah.
So actually, I'm seeing myself opening up like restaurants. You know, there are restaurants I admire in life, like how you see Javas. You know, I did a marketing course. I'm a marketeer.
Mm.
So in marketing, there's what you call a market leader and a market follower.
Mm.
So when I look at Javas, there are two restaurants I like in life. One is called Starbucks.
Starbucks, and
Yes.
it's not in Uganda.
It's not in Uganda.
So far away from Uganda.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I like Starbucks and I like Cafe Javas.
Are those the guys that sell tea,
Coffee, actually, theirs is mostly coffee
drinks,
and drinks.
soft drinks?
So I see myself in that line, waking up, I have my restaurant,
Yes.
I have like 5 branches around town,
Yes.
opening up branches in other countries.
Wow.
Yes, so in 5, it's my target in 5 years.
Do you also want to be a millionaire? I mean, if you ask anybody else, they would say nobody doesn't want to be a millionaire, but I see you're working towards that. Do you also want to end up a millionaire?
Yes, I want to end up a millionaire, but at times you get scared.
You shouldn't.
No,
You shouldn't. Because
you
look at your father, he has handled it well.
No, you get to be scared
Mm.
of what comes with being a millionaire.
Mm.
You know, it doesn't just stop there that you're a millionaire and it stops there. When you become a millionaire, let me give you one challenge that comes with being a millionaire. You get to have people who are not real, people who are not genuine. You know, they always want to impress you. You lose genuine friends,
Wow.
I can say.
Because they all come with
They
an
call
interest of-
with an interest of like getting money. This guy is going to buy for us. This guy is going to give us ABC.
Mm.
But now, like where I am, I don't like being too much there. Like
Which kind of friends do you have, by the way? You've spoken about friends. Which kind of
Yes.
friends do you have now? Are they the entrepreneur kind of friends?
You know, when I'm choosing my friend, I'm always very, very, very careful. You know, someone has to be genuine to me, and I look at a friend who is going to like me or is going to love me, not because of what I am, not because of what I have.
Because that's what I was going to say. Some of them
Yes.
can come because they know you.
Actually, I
Your
was
BMK side.
I was chatting with my best friend. He's called Akram. He's called Akram Kasozi. He's also into clothing lane. I was chatting with him. Actually, he told me one thing. Actually, he said it yesterday. He told me, I didn't love you. I didn't like you because of what you are. I liked you as a person, and I saw my best friend as someone who is very, very, very genuine to me.
On that note, tell me about something hot that you haven't said anywhere else that BMK is serving now. Something hot on their menu that anybody can just run in and be like, I've eaten that from BMK and I want to eat it again.
That is our local buffet. You know, you don't find it anywhere.
I have tested it.
You
and I know
you don't find it anywhere. How many restaurants do Luombo? Like on a daily we do deep local food.
Wow.
We give you like the food you used to eat from deep in the village, or when you go to visit your parents.
So with all the smoke,
exactly.
that
So
rich smell.
it gets to be surprising
Mm.
when you come and find a setup like this, an urban setup like this, and then you find local food. Actually, so many Basamas have been coming up, and then they're like, oh wow,
Those are people who are living abroad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They come and say, oh wow, we didn't know we can find food around. You're not selling local food in Kololo. You get to find this lake queen, those lake kings. They do burgers, they do what. But for us, we say let's specialize on doing our roots. Like how I respect the Rastafarians because I'm a reggae fan.
Yeah.
They respect their roots.
Yeah.
They never forget their roots.
Yeah.
So I thought about that. We should not forget our roots. We should keep doing our local food.
Well, now since I've encountered you face to face, I want to take this pleasure to thank you for always giving us this ample space to shoot, and the treatment has been perfect. I like the reception of your workers, and I think they've done a great job. Whenever I come here, they give me enough space and enough comfort. They show me like I'm really at home, and I feel at home. So with that, thank you, and thank you for BMK Cafe for doing this for us. And yeah, any last remark you want to pass? How can people follow you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you have any handles?
Well, we on Twitter as BMK Cafe.
Okay.
We visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
What about yours personally?
Mine personally is Kibirige Ali. It's plain. I don't change name. My names don't change.
On all handles? On
all handles.
Wow.
It's Kibirige Ali. I don't change. Why should I?
Well, indeed, as I can tell you, the apple doesn't fall far away from the tree. He's such 24 years old, and you can't make that up. I'm telling you, at 24 years old, he has discovered himself, something that is so hard for most of us young people. He's now venturing into his own businesses, of which he tops this very own BMK Cafe. But it looks like he has a bright future ahead of him. From the team, Elijah, Esther, Lawrence, and each and every person now managers at the station, thank you very much for being a fantastic audience. Until we meet next time, bye.